convinced a sailor to
Okay,
take me down
three,
the nether end.
2, 1,
But
go. Okay, hello. So I'm Savu, and this is the Wheel of Time. It is a first-person spellcaster made in 1999, and it is based on a pretty popular fantasy book series of the same name. So here in the first level, it's mostly just running through, but there's a couple of glitches. First off here, I'm going to do what's going to look like a double jump by quick saving and quick loading in the air. I'll talk more about that later. And there I get fireballs. Fireballs are basically like rockets in other shooter games, so I can use them for jumping really far distances. Here I'm gonna do another fireball boost to end the level. And if you jump at the precise moment that you land, you can keep your speed, so I got some extra speed boosts there. So this second level of the game is filled with fireball jumps, and health management is pretty important. And yeah, the glitch that I did in the first level is also going to be used in this level later on. And it was actually found last Saturday, so the run isn't really that optimized for it yet. But we have a couple uses for it. Basically you just hold the walk button and then you jump into the air and quick save and quick load, and then you just hang in the air and you can jump again, and then you can just repeat that to gain height. So here I'm taking a small detour. This level can actually be completed way faster, but I need this spell right here. It's called Shift, and it's the most broken thing ever. It lets you basically just teleport through walls. I'm gonna do a fireball jump here off of the wall, and then I'm going to go flying off. This saves like 15 seconds. You skip a couple fireball jumps and stuff doing that. Also, my health is in the top left corner, so watch out for that. Here I'm gonna finish off the level with a quick triple fireball jump. Oh! Failed one of those, so let's redo it. So the shift spell that I went to pick up is going to be used in this level to skip basically the entire thing. So the developers thought they would put a secret in this level where you can see it at the start of the level but only access it at the end. Well, we bring the shift from the previous level, which we are not supposed to have, and just go straight through the secret room, and now we're at the end of the level. So there is a boss fight here. It's a two-part fight. The first part takes a while to kill, but isn't that hard. And the second part spawns after he dies. I can dodge this boss's attacks by jumping on a certain timing. And I just use Seekers because they do a lot of damage. And then switch to darts to finish him off. And now here I actually need to listen because the next part of the fight can spawn in many different locations. Okay, that's a decent spawn. He can spawn in the far corners and it's really awful. And that was a pretty good fight. Okay, so this level is not that great. This game has 3 timed levels in total. We skipped 2 of them. This is the one that we cannot speed up in any way. So it is 3 minutes and 8 seconds of just pretty much waiting. I'm gonna do some stuff here to stack some heals on myself, and then I'm gonna collect a couple spells and go out of bounds and wait for the level to end. So if you have any donations, now would be a perfect time to do them.
Yeah, we have some donations. We have a $5 donation from Cryban saying, Savo, you have to channel your master of faster, go really fast. In Savo we trust, PogChamp. I have here for the 1-6, PogChamp.
I'm just gonna kill this enemy. You don't really have to kill him, but he can shoot at you when you're out of bounds later, waiting for the level to end, so it just helps to kill him. Just gonna grab some more spells. And then here I'm gonna do a couple fireball jumps. And now we're out of bounds and can wait for the level to end. So if you have more donations, please, this would be a good time. Because there's not much time at all near the end of the game.
There's nothing so far.
Okay, well, we can talk about some stuff. So first off, I want to give shoutouts to a couple people. There's Shadex, who is another runner of this game. He will be running this at SGDQ, so definitely watch that as well. And also another runner named Straightburn, who found a bunch of glitches for this run. The three of us are basically who broke this entire game. And yeah, so this game is based on a pretty popular book series, and sadly the story isn't really linked to the books. It's just set in the same world, and like the locations are the same, some of the enemies are the same, stuff like that.
We got
There's-
a donation in, if you want to read it
Oh.
out. Alright, we got a $420 donation by Svo saying, Savu, when is good music? Also, facecam hype! Good luck on the run, man.
Thanks. But yeah, the timed level ends now, so now we get to the exciting parts. This is the White Tower. It is one of the harder parts of the game, just because it has such a high intensity of tricks. Basically just gonna do a couple fireball jumps here to start out, and I grabbed some mines, which will help me boost my jumps later on. Here's a small puzzle. I swap places with an enemy outside, and then I'm gonna jump through a wall, which just doesn't exist. The developers just forgot to put it in. And here I'm gonna put a mine underneath me and use it to boost my jump to get up here. And here I'm gonna put 5 mines down and boost straight up this big tower thing. It saves like 30 seconds of walking. Then here I'm going to fall down and quick save, quick load at the bottom to stop my falling damage. Here the door should open. Sometimes it takes a while for it to open. That's unfortunate, but oh well. Gonna do one last big mine jump here to finish off this level. And then we just hit a couple more levers to move on. Oh, actually here I wasn't really supposed to have those spells there, but I used them to swap through the door to skip a mini-boss fight. I brought these spells over from the puzzle earlier. Basically, the developers made the spells used in the puzzles respawn because you need them to progress. So I was able to trick the game into letting me grab additional copies. Yeah, now we're at the end of this section. So this is the vault. It is supposed to be like a maze level or a puzzle level. And it has no enemies at all, just traps and puzzles. And we can break it pretty hard. Here I'm gonna grab some more mines and a levitate spell and some other stuff. And I'm gonna use the levitate spell to levitate over to this bookcase, which skips most of the level. There's a bunch of invisible walls around. And here I'm going to be backtracking a bit to again get extra copies of spells that I shouldn't have. So now I have 2 copies of Shift, which lets me teleport through walls. I use one to finish the level, and then I'm going to use the other one to skip a huge boss fight here. The boss here is really annoying and used to be really hard, but instead we just shift through the ground and walk to the end of the level. And here, at the start of this level, I'm going to spend about 15 seconds just grabbing spells. It might seem slow, but they will speed me up considerably later on. So, this is the ways. If you've read the books, you know what they are. It's pretty dark in here. I'm gonna do a pretty precise trick here. Just put down some mines and boost myself to the end here. And this level is skipped by jumping backwards. That's how you skip levels. I'm gonna do some small boosting here just to skip some walking. Here coming up, I'm going to swap places with an enemy, and then in the next level I'm going to do another incredibly precise mine jump, where this one is actually health perfect, so I'm going to put down 7 mines right here, shield, use an earth tremor, and I live with 1 health. And I boost over the entire level. Okay, so this is another level that we skip almost entirely. You might be beginning to see a pattern here of skipping entire levels. But basically we just grab this earth tremor spell here. You're supposed to like go around this huge level and raise the water level in these sewers, and then you're able to get the earth tremor, but we just boost to the end of the level. Here I grab some spells because the gate is on a timer. And coming up, I'm going to be picking up one of the more broken spells in the game. This one is called Balefire, and it's basically a railgun in that it kills normal enemies in 1 hit, it kills bosses in 2 hits, it goes through walls. It's the only spell in the game that we can also actually dupe, so it comes in pretty handy. I'm going to kill a boss here through a door. You won't get to see him, but he's there. And there, at the end of the level, I actually duped the spell. So duping works by dropping Balefire when you're charging it, and if you're at 1 charge and then drop it, it goes to 0 charges, and then it starts counting into the negative numbers actually. And for some reason, if you go into a level load with 0 Balefire, it gives you 5 instead. I don't know why. Also, Balefire can be used to do some pretty cool boosts. It basically gives you a huge amount of height and doesn't do any damage to you. So I'm just gonna fly over this section using Balefire, dupe it again, so now you can see in the bottom it says I have 0. And I'm gonna throw it away here because I can pick some more up right in these boxes. And here I'm gonna use it for some more boosting, then I'm gonna kill an enemy who drops a key and run to the end of the level. And the next level is quite interesting. It's supposed to be a 3-minute timed wait, after which there is a wave fight. Oh, that's actually pretty bad. The enemy cast a spell that's totally going to wreck me if I run into it, so I have to take an alternate path here. Not too bad though. So the next level is supposed to be a 3-minute timed wait, and then a wave fight starts. But we found out that you actually only need to kill the last wave of the fight, and Balefire goes through walls, so this is a pretty damn precise trick. But basically I'm shooting through about 11 walls, and this will skip 5 minutes of almost just waiting around. And I got it, because it says you are victorious. Okay, so this is the second last level of the game. It is Inner Sanctum, a pretty cool level. I'm gonna do some more Balefire boosts over a mountain, and then the game wants you to get a fire shield here, but getting a fire shield is slow because it's really far away, so I'm just gonna jump through this furnace and hope I live. I did, nice. And here I'm gonna grab a disguise and use it to disguise as an enemy. I also gained their traits, so now I'm running pretty fast. Gonna grab this one spell here, because I needed to exit the level. And I'm gonna leave one charge of disguise for the last level, because there is a use for it there. Gonna do some more back boosting, and then there is a boss fight at the end of this level. And I'm going to do something that looks weird here. I'm going to jump into the middle and grab this thing. Oh. Okay, I killed the boss. So, what I did there was I grabbed one of the seals. And in this last level, what you're supposed to do is collect 4 seals, and then you finish the game. So by bringing over an extra one from the previous level, I basically skipped 1/3 of this last level already. I start with 1 seal and I carry over 1, so that's 2 already. Oh, these spikes here, they randomly just wreck you, so here I was able to grab 1 more seal, and you're only supposed to be able to carry 1 of them at a time, so I'm going to drop this one here, because I don't want to carry it back to my base quite yet. I'm gonna do a small skip here, levitate over the gap while getting pushed by a minecart. But yeah, you're only supposed to be able to carry 1 of the seals, but we found a way to actually carry multiple. Oh, also, I forgot to mention, I skipped the triggers for these enemies by jumping on top of those pillar teleporter things. Also, this wall doesn't exist. There's a couple of those walls in the game. And coming up here is something called the boulder skip, where there's a boulder that comes down from the ceiling, but if you actually get under it before it comes down, it just bounces off of your head. So this trick we call seal on head. It's pretty silly. Basically, you drop one of the seals on top of your head and you're able to carry multiple of them. And I'm about to end the game, so once I put the last seal on the table, get ready for time. Time! So, that's a pretty good time. But yeah, there was also a donation incentive to watch the after credits cutscene, but sadly we're on a schedule here and we're not able to actually watch the credits, so I have to use a save file. But basically, the credits take about 4 minutes, and once they're about to end, there is a voice saying, "Welcome to the Wheel of Time. Dance party!" And then this happens. So yeah, it's basically just a dance party featuring enemies you see in the game, and there's a couple funny lines happening as well. But yeah, that's it for me. Thanks for watching.
This was the Wheel of Time.